Hey y'all, before we get into the receipts and ridiculousness, major thanks to Nate Eaton and East Idaho News for delivering every wild detail from inside the courtroom. Also, shout out to Court TV for capturing all the drama. Without y'all, this circus would be missing its ringmaster. Day 7 of the Lori Vallow Daybell trial in Arizona? Whew! If you thought the zombie nonsense and bamboo shirt delusions were peak cult chaos, wait until you hear about the burner phones, secret identities, and Lori's little detour to Hawaii wedding bliss, 4 months after Charles was shot dead in her living room. And guess what? This whole day belonged to one man, State Witness 19, Detective Nathan Duncan, Chandler PD, homicide. And he did not come to play. Detective Duncan dug into Lori's iCloud, yes, that infamous Reali-Tea account, and read pages of Chad and Lori's pre-murder love fest. We're talking cheek to cheek and loin to loin. No, I'm not kidding. That's the actual language. Oh, and a quick sidebar before we move on. If you want the full spine-crawling experience of Chad and Lori's twisted love notes, you have to check out the time Uncivil Law joined me live during the Chad Daybell trial and read the actual Reali-Tea novella out loud. I'm not even exaggerating. My eyes literally rolled out of my head and did laps around the floor while Kurt was reading it. It was cringe with a capital C, and yes, I'll link that live in a card so y'all can suffer with me. You're welcome. Okay, back to Duncan. Their affair of the soul kept going after Charles was killed. Duncan walked the jury through daily affirmations of love, romantic emails, and even multiple contact names Lori used for Chad. Bubby and Melanie too. Because when you're conspiring, why not spice it up with burner identities? Also, if you're wondering whether Chad was still playing fake prophet while helping Lori figure out how to get Charles' life insurance money, the answer is a resounding yup. All right, let's talk about the money. July 15th, Lori calls Banner Life Insurance to see if she's the beneficiary. July 18th, she learns, surprise, Charles changed the beneficiary in March. Lori was getting nothing. So what does she tell Chad? It was probably Ned. Because even financial planning gets blamed on fictional demonic spirits. She reassures him, I'll still get $4,000 a month from Social Security, even though she didn't apply until August 12th. Funny how she already knew she'd be getting paid. And yes, there were texts about trying to track down who Charles did leave the money to, most likely Kay Woodcock, according to Lori. And Chad? He's there giving blessings and showering, because of course, why not? Duncan testified that Chad used multiple names in Lori's phone, Bubby, Melanie too, and others, and still managed to keep their eternal love mission alive via calls and messages. One message from Melanie too even included a photo of Chad, because apparently burner identity doesn't mean no selfies. And yes, some of these texts included more chatter about life insurance, because if there's one thing this case teaches us, it's that forever love comes with a price tag. Just 4 months after Charles' death, November 5th, 2019, Lori married Chad Daybell in Hawaii. Duncan showed the jury the wedding contract and photo found in Lori's iCloud. And she used the name Lori Ryan, her name from a previous marriage. New husband, new alias, same sketchy timeline. Lori grilled Duncan like someone who Googled had a lawyer 5 minutes before court. She asked why no DNA was tested on the bat. Duncan said there was no visible blood, and DNA isn't time specific. You touch a bat once in 2017, it still shows up. She also brought up the gun, the floorboard, and Charles' shirt, all untested items, and tried to frame this like some massive law enforcement failure. But Duncan held firm. The scene didn't show signs of a cleanup, and nothing visible suggested blood or foul play beyond what was processed. Also, she wanted to know why he didn't interview her whole extended family, like Janice, Summer, and Barry. Duncan was basically like, they weren't even there. And if I may, girl, you were. This ain't about what Janice thinks. Oopsie, did I just say ain't? Lori also tried to undercut the state's whole Nephi equals spiritual murder mission narrative. She grilled Duncan on how many Nephis were in the Book of Mormon. Spoiler, she claims 4. And whether he read it cover to cover. He didn't. His answer? He asked several LDS members what Nephi meant to them, and all of them had the same story. Nephi kills Laban because God told him to. You want plausible deniability, Lori? Maybe don't drop religious code words right before your husband dies. And final bombshells. Lori did not testify. The defense rested without calling a single witness. The state officially rested its case. Closing arguments set for Monday at 1 p.m. with jury instructions finalized earlier the same week. Oh, and Lori tried to argue for a Rule 20 dismissal on count 1, conspiracy to commit murder, saying the state hadn't proved a plan. The judge denied it in record time, saying any reasonable jury could find her guilty based on the evidence. Whew, all right, brace yourself because here come my final thoughts. Detective Duncan's testimony was an absolute mic drop from the prosecution. From burner phones to fraudulent financial motives, he walked us through every shady step Lori took before and after Charles was killed. We saw the unraveling of the spiritual affair with Chad, evidence of planning masked as interventions, Lori obsessing over life insurance while Charles' body was barely cold, and her desperate attempt to spin it all in court with zero success. This wasn't just about evidence, it was about intent, and Detective Duncan made that clear. And with the defense choosing not to present a single witness or piece of evidence, it's all on that closing argument that's coming up in my next video. Get ready, because y'all, this jury is about to decide if Lori Daybell will be held accountable for the death of Charles Vallow, and we're not done yet. So what do you think the jury will do? Was this all just a money-hungry cult love story gone lethal? Or does Lori still have a chance to wiggle out? Drop your theories in the comments. All right, before we wrap up, let's tack on day 8. It was short, sweet, and surprisingly revealing, even though not a single witness took the stand. The day kicked off with Lori back in the courtroom and once again looking smug enough to think she's acing this trial. Bless her delusional heart. But instead of witness testimony, this session was all about legal logistics. At 10:23 a.m., we hit the charge conference. For those who don't speak fluent courtroomese, this is where the lawyers and judge hash out the jury instructions, basically a behind-the-scenes script edit before the jury gets handed their decision-making cheat sheet. Both sides argued over which instructions to include, which ones to cut for being repetitive or confusing, and how they wanted to word things like intent, reasonable doubt, and whether Lori's bizarre brand of spiritual warfare even counts as a defense. Here's the kicker though. Near the end of this court day, we got confirmation that Lori's next criminal trial for the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux is officially on the books. That one's scheduled to kick off on May 30th, 2025. Yeah, you heard that right. This woman is juggling felony trials like she's on a true crime version of America's Got Talent. And if you think this trial has been wild, just wait until we hear what comes out in that attempted murder case. She and her brother Alex allegedly tried to take Brandon out with a literal drive-by shooting. Not exactly your average family reunion plan. And that's it for this recap. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching and supporting me. Be sure to hit the like button, Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any of my recaps. And remember, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.